All right, everybody, I feel like I owe you an update on my office theater chase here. So I've got the office part semi-done, and then the theater part starting to come together. So let me explain to you what that means. I've always wanted a room, because I'm not like a dedicated movie theater kind of guy. Like, I don't want theater seating where I have to sit upright. I want to be able to lay on the couch and pivot from left to right side. And so I want a nice couch, and I want a room with some nice equipment. I don't want sconces and weird, like, stars in the ceiling, and I don't want to paint the room black. It's just not my style. And I've been messing around in home theater, sold home theaters for 6 years in my early 20s and late teens, early 20s. And I love audio, I love video, I love the experience. But I want kind of, I guess I want like BMW level of car here. I don't want a Koenigsegg, it's just not my style, and I don't want what I'm interested in. So anyway, this room is 12 feet wide by 27 feet long, so it's kind of a crappy dimension. It's upstairs in my bonus room right above the garage. And so I thought this could be a place for me to do my first version of an office theater and just kind of make do with the room that I got. You also have this sort of trapezoid design. This is basically an attic truss where they build a bonus room above the garage. And so it gives me some limitation. I'm sure that's not great acoustically, but we're going to get a decent result, I think. And so when I got this room, I had a clear vision for doing BDI desk. So I want to do the BDI desk. This chair is insane. This is the Stressless Magic chair. I have a tour of this set up here, but I wanted to show you sort of my vision here. So I'm sitting here doing a podcast. The way I have my thing set up is a little Rogue USB-C mic. I've got the new M4 Mac Mini. And then I have my old iPhone 15 as my webcam, and so I do this kind of setup here. I've got great audio for my computer, and then I can turn. And basically, when I'm sitting here, I set the TV height a little bit higher than I normally would, because now this couch isn't going to stay here. I mean, again, this is the temporary setup. I'm sharing you the vision here. I wanted to be able to see the TV sitting here nice and comfortably. So I went probably about 10 inches higher than I normally would have. Plus, I needed a little bit of room in case I ever did the 12-inch version of the center channel. So anyway, here's the plan. So my JTR speaker shipped tomorrow. Right now, I have it temporarily set up. I was testing the theory. What if you did the JTR 110s, which are their surround speaker? What if you did 110s all the way around? I actually had it as my center channel. It sounded really great. And I stacked my Sub 6 subwoofers. It's just stuff I had kind of laying around that I wanted to test out. I do think this is a great system for somebody. If you want a sweet deal on my, these are, I forget which veneer that Joe Pichette did here, but these are veneered. I have 3 of them. And I have a Cinema 30 that I'd sell you as well. But the plan here is to do 2 110 RTs, the reference towers. This is not the reference 10. This is the HTR, or no, this is the HT, I believe. But I'm going to have the reference center, so the 10-inch reference center. Because of the size of the room, I decided not to go with the 12s. Michael Stevens, Youthman, he has the 12s. Rusty will have the 15s. I'll have the 10s. My room is smaller, and so I think this will work out great. Ceiling height is about 10 feet. So again, we're 12 feet wide, 10 feet tall. I'm not a projector guy. I like the lights on often. I would prefer to have a window, but I had to block the window for here. But this is the 97 G2 LG organic LED, OLED. So this display is freaking massive in this room. And so I guess I could have gone probably 120-inch screen. It's probably the most I could fit because of the ceiling constraints. And so I get a direct view display, and I'm 80% of the way there. The couch is actually going to come a little bit further forward. I ordered a Lazy Boy couch that's going to go 97 inches off the wall, so my walkway will be pretty ample. The walkway is going to be about 4 feet. And so then the couch is going to start here, head this way, turn right, and so then it'll come down to about here, and so that way Michelle could lay this way, and then I can have the the main captain seat. I just don't want to do theater seating because this isn't really a theater. It's more of just a little family room setup with some awesome audio. So you have your left, right, center. This stand I bought, I just didn't want to do a rack and run all the wires all over the place. Notice I have the wires running under the carpeting. So what I'll have power and Ethernet coming from that wall, all my speaker cables coming from that wall, so we'll have a nice umbilical cord running behind the speaker. Speakers will probably sit out a little further than where they are here, but I'll have a nice umbilical cord running behind the cabinet. I'll have all my equipment in the cabinet, so I'll have my Kaleidoscape Strato V, which I already have set up here. I'll have whatever AV10, I'm not sure what processor I'm gonna do yet, but probably AV10 processor. I already ordered my Buckeye amps, so I'm gonna have a Purify 3-channel for the front 3, and then I'll have the Encore, which is a Hypex moduled Class D amplifier, 8-channel for the other speakers, the center and the surrounds and heights. And then I will probably have the MadVR NV Core, which will be my scalar processor for my display. And so that'll be the setup here. So NV Core on the scaling, the AV10 Marantz likely as the processor. So we'll do a full die rack, bass management or bass control, calibration in here. I'll probably have my friend Matthew Pose come and calibrate it after I get it all set up. But the intention here is to have, all JTR. And then I'll probably swap between JTR and Perlisten over the years. Those are my 2 favorite speaker brands currently. And so we'll swap from different systems back and forth up here. But the first system we're going to do is JTR. And so what we have here is I have a window. So there's a 60-inch by 24-inch window behind the TV. I didn't have to do anything. I was going to drywall it in, but I'm like, I don't really want to do that. I don't want to be in this house forever. And so what we did was mounted the display using the window frame. TV weighs 123 pounds or something like that. So we were able to catch the studs here on the left and right side. And then if you were to take this off, you could see the top of the window frame. So what I did is I took a 24 by 48 inch GIK acoustic treatment or panel. This has a scatter plate in it. So these all have scatter plate. I don't want to make the room super dead. I didn't do any real, consulting. So Matthew Pose may come up here and tell me that I did this all wrong. But I wanted to get as much treatment on the front wall as I could fit. I wanted to do 3 24-inch, but it would sort of fall into the window frame, and so the single 48, I think it makes sense. I like how it looks. I'm not going to paint the room black. I'm going to leave it this sort of Harbor Gray looking color. I don't care what anybody says. That's what I'm going to do. I'll have black speakers, and then what I'd love to do is veneer the JTRs in something like this at some point, so maybe we'll do that. But these, again, I have it temporarily set up for fun. This system actually rips, man. It's pretty nice. Just a simple 5-channel. I have it 5.2. So I have this, even though it's 4 subwoofers here, or 2 subwoofers, I have this set up as 1 subwoofer, so master and slave. And so I have the subs just, the input into one and then, daisy chained into the other. And so they're running as a single subwoofer on the left and right. So I have it as 5.2 right now. So the 3 fronts and then the 2 rears. And so what I'm going to do, it's going to be roughly where this outlet is. So right here, no, 1 bay over. This bay here, we're going to cut a hole in the wall, and I'm going to put a JTR 2400, their 2400 series ported subwoofer is going to go, so 2400 watt, 18-inch single woofer is going to go into a pocket. And so the face of the subwoofer will be flush with the wall. And so Mike and I are going to build a pocket here to house the subwoofer. It'll have a dedicated 20 amp for the left and right. So we'll have a dedicated 20 amp for the left and right backs. And so we'll have, and I'll run the XLR cables to it. And so because the room is so small, if I were to put those subs in the room, they'd stick out this far. It looks stupid. So I'm going to push it back into the recess of the attic. This is all open in there. And so the trusses sort of run right here. And so we have 22 inches of width, and the subwoofer is 20 inches wide. So we're going to make like a little plywood pocket paint it black, and push the speaker into the location. And so that's my plan there. Worst case scenario, I may run, Jeff says that heat won't be a problem, but I'll run some ductwork. We'll actually make it quite a bit deeper. I'd say 6 to 8 inch deeper than it needs to be. That way I can kind of play with the position of the subwoofer. But I'm gonna do one here, one opposing here. We might even be able to play with some waveforming with the subs from left to right. Matthew says he's never tried that, but theoretically we could do a little bit of waveforming where one sub catches the other sub's output. And then I'm gonna do the same thing back here where this other outlet is. And so the other subwoofer is gonna be either here or here. I think probably in this location. So we'll have 4 2400s. So we'll have the 4 subwoofers on the left and right side of the room, tucked into the side. I don't need 4 18 inches of output. What I want is I want the linearity of bass. I want the bass to fill the room. I want it to disappear. I don't know if those are the ample or exact right locations for the subwoofer to go with the room nodes, but I think that we can work with software and calibration to get that right. So then we're going to do 110 in walls, right, roughly in this bay here. So just slightly behind the ear location at roughly ear height, sitting height. So it'll be somewhere in this location. Actually, the couch I'm doing is about 4 inches lower than this couch, so it won't be quite as tall. So we'll have the left and right channels here. The slants, these exact slants are gonna go up on the ceiling in the back of the room above here. And so they'll be facing down toward the location. So the 7 channel surround, not ideal, but it's gonna go and energy will come this direction. Then the height channels are gonna go in the triangle here, so 25 degrees from the listening position. So the listening position, the main seat will be right here, and so we'll build around that seat. And so roughly there, roughly here, we'll measure it out, and then we'll do 2 more or 4 more 110 IWs, the in-wall height channels. So it'll be 7.4.4. So 4 discrete subwoofers, 4 overhead height channels, the 4 rear surrounds, and then the 3 fronts is going to be the structure of how this thing's set up. I don't plan on coming up here and blowing the room apart, but I do want the immersion. And I'm in love with the JTR speakers. And so I would highly recommend go to ObsessedHomeTheater.com, which is my sister company that my partners Rusty and Michael are partners in, and we're building out. We plan on being, a massive JTR dealer, a massive per listen dealer. I have per listen down in the family room. Maybe we'll show you a quick glance at that before we end the video. And then this will be my JTR setup up here. I think it's going to turn out really great. So the acoustic treatments, I'll probably put a cloud in between each lights. I need to add another light here, and I'm going to add 3 more here above my desk. So that way, and I'll put those on a different switch. That way, when I'm on camera, I can, control the lighting. I might even do those in like 4K, so they're a little bit whiter. So when I'm on camera, I can turn those on separately when I'm doing podcasts and stuff like that. And then I'm going to play with, how the acoustic treatments will be set up in here. The subwoofers are going to kind of mess up first and second reflection points. But theoretically, I'll probably end up doing a couple of treatments here. So I have these kind of sitting here temporarily. So I may end up having something similar to this, where I have these. I'm going to probably have to either turn sideways and put it above the couch. And then those I may need to get a couple more, but we'll kind of figure out how that works and how it looks. Actually, it's pretty nice in here now. One of the difficulties is you don't want to go too, so these don't have a scatter plate, these do, because if you go too dead, you can kind of kill the room's fun. That thing I'm really interested in, since this is the second floor, having the kind of floor rumble. Matthew Pose, who will help me with the acoustics of this, said he would much rather have a tile floor with a rug. I have to get a different rug because this one keeps linting. I think I'm allergic to it. But I'm going to do an area rug with probably like a microfiber pad, rug pad underneath it, and then having the larger couch and some acoustic treatments is gonna. The room already sounds pretty darn good, I think. Just janking it together. I mean, I got wires running under the carpet, just temporarily set up. But I felt like I owed you a little update on this. go to Youthman channel and go to obsessivehometheater.com to check out this stuff. I'm telling you, man, I've heard hundreds, if not thousands, of speakers in my life. The JTR stuff is like right up my alley. It's exactly what I want my speakers to sound like. So I have my Dynaudio bookshelves, my Perlisten family room, my JTR setup. I'm living the audio dream here. And so this room, I'm sure someday I'll build like a real dedicated home theater. But in this case, I'm basically just kind of creating a little office family room setup that's going to really, be enjoyable and really rip. And then maybe again someday when I build my custom home, I'll build a real setup where I've designed the ceiling heights and the walls, the wall dimensions, and then not putting TVs over the window. But I mean, you got to see the scale of this 97. It's pretty sick. Everybody always gives you a hard time. Your TV is too small. Well, these are 25 grand. The reason why I bought the G2 is Best Buy had it on for, they're just kind of clearing out the G2s for what, 11.9 or 12.2 or something like that. So I bought it for 12,000 bucks. Still a lot of money. But I mean, the JVC projector I would have put in here was what, 30 grand, with a screen. And so you can just see the scale of a 97. I'm sitting, say, what is this, 13 feet away. It's pretty immersive. And then the picture quality of this is much, much better. I don't want to get us copyrighted here, so you get the idea. The quality of this just looks incredible in comparison to what a projector could output. So even with the lights on or the lights dimmed, I do have Lutron control here. The room looks great. So I do need to add a few more lights to here so I can get full light since I don't have the window anymore. But me and Chase, we do lots of meetings up here, right, buddy? So what I want to be able to do is be looking at putting together a sonic package, and I'm like, I'd like to just go take a little rest to watch something. Lay down on the couch, watch some Heartland. We're good to go. So there's still a little bit of echo here. I think we'll get rid of some of that with a larger couch, a rug pad, and then doing some of the overhead cloud type acoustic treatments. And the room's going to be great. I'm excited. Let me just show you the family room system because it's all complete, and then we'll follow up with you once we get this room. Once we start working on the room, I'll be sure to be making some videos as we install the subwoofers and do all the work up here shortly. Like I told you, I'm living the I guess regular man's audio dream. And then this setup, so BDI stand, same company as my desk up there. This is the Perlisten R series. So this is the R5 center. They're coming out with an R7, which would have 2 more drivers, which I'm super interested in swapping over to. And then I have this little stand here, this little, Kanto Amazon stand, just to give me a little bit of rake so that it angled up toward my listening position. And I thought I would move it back and forth, but I actually have it sitting on the front of the stand because then there's no reflection off of it. These are the 210, R210 versions. So technically they're entry-level sub, but there's 210s that are opposing. And then the R7 towers, these are 10,000 bucks a pair. But the R7 towers match with the timbre matched R5 center, the 2 awesome looking subwoofers. Gosh, we have so much dust here. I have to dust these things off like every other day. And my cleaning lady, I said, don't touch the speakers because I need to use like the proper equipment to clean them up. I use McKee's N914, the number eluded me there, and a couple of microfibers. So this system here is 5.4.2. So you have the 2 subwoofers, the 3 fronts, the 2 rears. Those are the R4 rear speakers on the sides, which I had the wires run. And then I have the really large, really high quality, but these are the 2-way, the R2IC, so the custom install in-ceiling speakers. And so my main seating position would be here for me. This is Matthew Poe's tuned, so Dirac, calibrated, mini DSP confirmed. This system has a Primaire SPA 25 processor, and then I have their their high current 2-channel Class D for the fronts. So the fronts are on a 2-channel, and then I have the 8-channel. 8 channels over here. So the 8-channel with my Furman. So the 8-channel is, the center channel's bridged, so it's getting like, I don't know, 450 watts, 500 watts, something like that. And then I have the remaining channels for the 2 rears and the heights. So it's 5.4.2, the two with the 2 subwoofers. And then this is where my Kaleidoscape brain is. So I have a 48 terabyte server of about 600 movies that I bought, 500 and some movies. And so my Strato V player connects to the Terra server. My Terra server and Strato V are on the network, and then I have another Strato V upstairs so I can watch from the same, library of movies. This here is an 83 G3 LG OLED. This has been ISF calibrated by my friend John Reformato, and I have another, say, 100 hours or so to break in the TV upstairs. Once I get the MAD VR NV Core, the scalar processor, I should stop calling it a scalar, but the video processor, I'll have John come and ISF calibrate that as well. So I do have one more TV in the house, and that's in the garage, and that's a I think it's a C4, 77-inch C4 OLED. So those are the 3 displays that I have in the house. So anyway, I'm living again, I think this is like the ultimate regular family room setup. The reason why I said it's not dedicated, it's not sophisticated. I didn't change my room for the speakers. I just put really good equipment in a not so good room, which, I don't know, makes me happy. Makes me excited to sit down and listen to something. This system here rocks. It's pretty sweet. And, depending on your taste, to me, I like the look of this. The way that this is set up. I like to see a really good looking, cleanly done front stage. Michelle's been dealing with this for years with me, but I do love this setup, and I think I'm going to keep it for a while. So anyway, thanks for watching. Go do me a favor. Go give Youthman a subscribe. Go check out Home Theater, obsessedhometheater.com. And the plan there is to curate products and show you exactly what I would suggest. Obviously, this system would be available. The system upstairs will be available. The next products we're getting into are receivers and processors, cables, projectors, and then hopefully someday, I don't think we'll be selling online, TVs, but we'll be doing TV installations here locally is the plan at some point. So thanks for watching. As always, stay tuned for more crazy. I'm obsessed with a lot of things, and unfortunately, I don't get to check it at the door when I walk in from the garage. The home theater, speakers, couches, faucets, pots and pans. I get interested in that stuff too, so I'll share with you what I've learned up to this point. That's what I've been doing on Obsessed Garage. So thanks for watching. See you soon.